Good evening, everyone. The time is 6:01. Sorry, Bert. You're tuning into the Sandwich School Committee, and members of the public may listen and watch the school committee via live stream at www.sandwichtv.org and the Sandwich Community TV Education Channel 8. As always, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. It's our time for our first public forum. If there's anybody here that wants to speak. Nope, looks like nobody. Moving on to review and act on the meeting minutes from our business meeting on September 24th. Can I entertain a motion?
Make a motion to review and approve the minutes from the business meeting on 9/24/25.
In a second? All right. Any discussion? Oh, do you need the agenda? I have one. I have an extra. Okay. Oh, okay. Take your time. No worries. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? No? All those in favor? Aye? Nay? Okay, passes 6-0. Correspondence and announcements. Okay, we'll come back to that. No worries. Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's the Nye Scholarship.
Oh, okay. So there we have one. Okay. So, oh, you found it. Okay, great. First, we received a notification from the Nye Scholarship Trust from Mr. Neal that the Nye Scholarship Trust is pleased to confirm Dave Neal's reappointment to the Selection Committee for the Town of Sandwich for an additional 3-year term expiring October of 2028. We deeply appreciate your willingness to serve in this capacity to benefit student applicants from Sandwich. The Selection Committee will operate in accordance with the same set of bylaws delivered to you previously. So this is for Dave Neal. So congratulations to Dave Neal at Sandwich High School.
Great choice.
Very good choice. Okay, Bert, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'm sending on, I'm going to read something that I put in Taylor White's box. He's the town clerk, and it's dated tomorrow. Resignation from my position on the school committee. My house in Sandwich will close on November 4th, and as of that date, I will leave the excellent Sandwich School District and move to, let's say politely, a far lesser district. My resignation will take effect October 23rd. That would be the day after the next meeting. So my last school committee meeting will be October 22nd. I have, the only good thing I can say is I have not missed a regular school committee meeting since being elected in May 2020. Sean Roush encouraged me to run as he was familiar with my background as a teacher and my knowledge of kids. And Dr. Maruschek has been invaluable to me as a colleague and friend. Sandwich has an excellent school committee composed of knowledgeable and just plain decent people.
Oh, thank you, Bert. You're going to be missed on our committee. Yeah. I've learned a lot from you with the negotiations committee. You've brought a lot to the table, and your perspective, you know, you're not afraid to speak your mind, and I respect that. No, I really do.
Statement of the year.
No, but it brings, you know, it brings another train of thought to the table. And
Well, I'll miss this district because the district I'm going to is, I better not say anything.
so good luck. You're going to have your pickleball, volleyball, softball career to focus on. Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Just know this, Bert, you're always welcome here, and in many, many ways, Sandwich will always be your home.
Mm-hmm. We still have you one more meeting. Okay, so we'll have cake. Yeah, great, perfect. We love excuses if we can. Any other? Yeah, yeah, of course you are.
It's
yeah.
your parting gift.
Put it in your new house. Any other correspondence or announcements? No? Okay, seeing none. On to the superintendent's update.
Okay, just a couple brief items. I believe today is October 8th. So a week ago, exactly 1 week ago, was October 1st. Realize October 1st is the magic date that the state always uses for your official enrollment for any given school year. So what I've shared with you, and this chart is in your background memo as well, is what we have for our official October 1st enrollment for this school year. It stands at 2,111 students. Forestdale is pretty much status quo. I think we actually picked up one kid from the beginning of the year to 559. We lost approximately something like 13 from Oak Ridge. We're at 657. The middle high school, 864, and out of district maintained at 31. I think I also broke down in your background memo how many are resident students versus are out of, I'm sorry, not out of district, but choice students. The point that I made, I believe the last meeting, is we are up to 158 choice students, which is very good, but again, it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act because keep in mind you only get $5,500 in funding from the sending district versus what we would be getting in funding from the state. It pales in comparison. So I think we're really reaching a critical mass with that piece. As we look at, with our enrollment is our average class sizes. This hasn't changed dramatically since I showed it to you during that first meeting in September. We like to see a progression of, at early elementary, the class sizes being smaller, and then as the students progress through Oak Ridge, it's okay for it to be a little bit larger, and then grades 7 and 8 at the middle high school. So honestly and candidly, I think we're in a really, really good place with regard to our class sizes. I think as I did last year, I'd also like to share with you our class sizes by department at the middle high school. I do want to make a couple caveats with regard to some of these class sizes. This is strictly 9 through 12. This does not include 7th and 8th. And what we've found, even going through the attrition process at the middle high school, we're having more and more staff members that are shared staff with 7th and 8th. For example, very much in the foreign language or world language department, we've got teachers teaching both high school and middle school classes. Honestly, I think the class sizes are very, very good. They're optimum. I think there's different situations. But again, I think that there are opportunities as we go through the budget cycle for attrition or consolidation and so on with regard to that. I also included in the packet, I think, Sue, a couple meetings ago, you asked for the numbers with regard to our AP enrollment. That is in the background notes as well. Again, I think as we go through the budget deliberations, we really should look at very, very carefully policy with respect to the AP classes we're running. I think we have a tremendous amount of success in the AP program, but realize we've got situations where the enrollment is small. The example, I was having a conversation earlier with Danielle, we run AP Latin. It's got 9 kids in it. We do combine it with Latin 5 honors, but it's still a very, very small class. We run AP Physics. We only have 5 kids in AP Physics. Do I think that that's an incredibly important course? I do. But I think 5. I think it's a balancing act.
But there may be opportunities for students to take those courses in partnership with other schools where you share the cost of the instructor.
Yeah,
Some creative ways to do that, or even an online or a hybrid.
yeah. I mean, and we do run some classes. We've got a decent enrollment. If my memory serves me correctly, it's something like 18 or 19 in AP Calculus. There's AP Calculus AB, but then for the real high flyers, there's AP Calculus BC. We've got some students taking that, but they're taking it through virtual high school. So we do look at those opportunities, but I do think there is a full picture there. Any questions on any of that data?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and the second piece that I have is just a quick update with regard to our facilities condition assessment. Good news, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, myself and our facilities director, Michael Ryan, we have a meeting with the project manager from Habib and Associates to kind of map out the scheme that they will be using to start on site. They're basically telling us the last week of October. They'd like to target 3 dates where they will spend a full day at each of our schools' campus. They'll have a team that will go through the school, go through the grounds, and so on to start collecting all of that data. They express with a high degree of confidence we will have that facility condition assessment report by the conclusion of this calendar year. So that'll be interesting as things ramp up with the budget in January. We should have that in hand.
It's going to be full days.
Oh,
Each school, yeah.
absolutely.
How many are on their team? Do we know?
I think they'll send out a team of about 3.
Okay. All right. Great. Any questions, comments? No? Okay, moving on to old business. Other topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I have none. On to new business. Moving right along.
So we knew that this was going to be Bert's next to last meeting. So we said, we've got to go with Bert's favorite topic, MCAS. And, Jen and Dave are here to do their terrific job. I told them to keep it down, so it's down to only 72 slides this evening.
Great.
No, in all seriousness, Jen and Dave are here to kind of talk about where we are as a district, and based upon our recent results, I think in many ways there's a lot of positive news here. In many ways, some of our results very much mirror the state, but they'd like to share some insights. So I turn it to you.
So I first just want to recognize Mr. Fisher in your last meeting. It's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you for your years of service to the Sandwich Public Schools and all of your commitment to dialogue and engagement. So I just want to start off there. Very excited to share the 2025 MCAS results. It feels like it's like a part of the routine. We're trying to routinize this process for all of you, and so it feels like we're playing the hits again. It's to try to stay on message. So Jen, do you want to take the first?
Sure. So I know this is a very exciting topic, the brief history of the MCAS.
Can you put your microphone just a little closer, both of you? Yeah, we can't really hear you.
We felt it was probably a good time just to give a little tiny bit of brief background on the MCAS, because there's been a lot of publicity, like in the Globe, about districts across the Commonwealth being compared to their pre-pandemic scores, and so it's just kind of, we thought it was important to clarify what that really means. So when DESE is referring to pre-pandemic, they're specifically referring only to the year 2019. And the reason for that is 2019 was the first year that the MCAS Next Generation assessment was administered. So to go back beyond 2019 is not really a valid assessment, and there's been a lot of changes in the scaling of the scores and whatnot since then. Of course, no one expected 2020 to be disrupted the way it was when a new test was implemented in 19, of course. But nonetheless, that's the reason why there's a heavier focus since 19 on critical thinking and application items, certainly around making connections. So there's been a shift in the test since that point in time. So again, we refer to it now, it's the Next Generation MCAS, and I think most people are probably aware ELA and math tests are administered in grades 3 through 8 and grade 10, and then science is administered only in grades 5, 8, and 10. And for the first time this year, there was a civics exam administered only in grade 8. And of course, all of the scores are reported out in 4 different performance levels: exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, partially meeting, or not meeting. It's of course all done since 2019. It's all completely digital.
And then we just try to give like an overview of some key terms that you'll see throughout the presentation. Student growth percentile, SGP, is measuring the degree in which the student's achievement changed from the prior year relative to other similarly scoring students. You won't see that for grade 3 because this is their first time taking it. A typical SGP would range between 40 and the 40th percentile and the 60th percentile. Speaking of percentiles, we also look at their school achievement percentile. That tells us how the grade level achieved relative to other similar grades across the Commonwealth. And then our DART comparable districts. So we tend to look at not just across the Commonwealth, but which school districts have similar enrollment demographics in terms of population, percentage of English language learners, socioeconomic status, and things of that nature.
Okay. I think we actually covered this, other than to note, I think everyone's aware, but it's important to understand that this was 25 was of course the first year that the grade 10 MCAS was not a high school graduation requirement, and the impact of that was definitely felt across the state. So statewide, we are excited to share that out of the 396 districts across the state, 63 districts were invited to a ceremony, a press conference really, that DESE held a week ago, Monday, in Arlington, for schools that had brought one of their content areas, either ELA or math. They did not report out on science. If you had brought your ELA or math scaled scores back up to those 2019 pre-pandemic levels. So Sandwich was recognized for bringing math scores in grades 3 through 8 back up to that 2019 level.
Do you attribute that, are we seeing the impact of the change in curriculum?
I think there's many factors. I think, yes, curriculum. Yes, I think we did our kids were in school a lot during the pandemic, so I don't think we had a humongous regression or dip, which was very fortunate. I think it was, as you all know, all hands on deck for those pandemic years. But I also think our schools are they're working really hard to always improve. So we were again recognized for math. Only 13 school districts out of the close to 400 have brought their ELA scores back up. We are so close, so close. 2 percentage points, I think, or 2 scaled points, and
Wow.
it's 4 percentage points, so very close. It's almost a fluctuation from year to year. I think last year, if you looked at our ELA scores, they were above, at or above 2019. So we're pretty pleased with that as well. But across the state, overall performance remains well below the 2019 levels. Trends statewide or patterns, our scores are above the state averages across the board. However, we have similar patterns. So the ELA scores across the state had a slight improvement compared to last year, to 24. math scores across the state were mostly flat. And science seemed to be steady across the state with a decline in, steady across the state in grade 5 with a decline in grade 8.
And so this was just a couple of photos from the press conference that we attended. So our new commissioner, Pedro Martinez, spoke to give just kind of his overall state of the data. Secretary Tutwiler also gave remarks, and I think what stood out as part of their remarks, as well as those from superintendents and building leaders at the event, and even a student, was that their outcomes were being recognized because of the school culture that they created, creating a welcoming, engaging environment for students where attendance was high and students were challenged to meet the high standards for the state of Massachusetts. What they didn't talk about was anything related to test prep, so it was good to see that we're on the same track. We're doing similar things, so the things that are reflected in our district action plan and strategic plan are consistent with the high achieving schools across the state. So then looking at our key summary points, again, math was one of the was recognized as one of the 63 districts meeting or reaching pre-pandemic levels. 503 is a scale score. ELA across the district was a 501 scaled score, 503 pre-pandemic. Grade 5 science had another outstanding year. 65% of the students were meeting or exceeding. That was a 509 scaled score with 503 pre-pandemic. Grade 8 science has fluctuated a bit over the years, but still had a strong achievement percentile. It was in the 69th percentile of all students across the state. And as Jen mentioned, our results kind of mirror what the state saw across the Commonwealth. But again, as you'll see in the data, we maintained our high outcomes as you've seen in years past. And so I'm sure it comes to no surprise as anybody who's been following the news that the grade 10 trends were down. Students were not required to meet a qualifying score in order to reach a competency determination. So ELA, math, and science scores all declined as compared to 2024. While some students may find it riveting to write a literary analysis of the character of Ophelia from Hamlet, others may be less inclined to do so, particularly when it doesn't count towards graduation.
He just brought up Ophelia, and I don't know where I've heard that recently in the last week.
Song and dance, so let's,
Should pipe it in through the speakers.
I can hit play right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
I'm ready.
That would bring a little
So I guess my question is, not all data is good data, not all data is actionable data. So, yeah, we do it. It's a benchmark of sorts.
We're in a brave new world. I think that's not to go with another literary comparison here, but I think it still remains to be seen. I think that's why our competency determination policy is going to be really critical moving forward. To your point, Dr. Miller, garbage in, garbage out. So we'll need to keep a monitor. But I will say, I want to credit the Sandwich Middle High School administration. They really tried to talk with the students beforehand, share the importance of doing your best, also the implication for the Abigail Adams Scholarship. And even still, the achievement percentile for our students was still in like the 60th. So our kids did relatively well compared to their peers. It's not for lack of effort on the teacher's part and the administration's part.
But Dr. Quinn, am I correct in saying that MCAS is not a ceiling?
Oh, it's
Floor. You know what I'm saying? It's a test of basic knowledge, is it not?
I guess I don't quite understand the question. Yes.
It's competency
Yep.
or above whatever a basic standard of competency is.
I would clarify that it is a floor, but it's a 10th grade outcome
Okay.
test.
Yes.
And then,
But I would counter with those 10th grade standards in our state curriculum frameworks are very rigorous.
Oh, yes. Yep. I would say the standards at every grade level are very
Yeah.
rigorous. And it's very tricky because our teachers at all of the tested grade levels, they are living with a foot in two different worlds, in the sense that, you know, the world is constantly changing, students are changing. Yes, the test changed in 2019, but ultimately there are a lot of aspects of the test that still are very much like filling in a multiple choice Scantron bubble sheet, right? Whereas that's certainly not what we're trying to emphasize in classrooms, right? We're emphasizing pedagogy and oration and you know, collaboration, and those things just cannot be measured in such a way. So our teachers have to, they know this is an important data point and a very public data point, but they also know that this is not by any means everything.
Yeah, it's just one indicator of the health, of an overall health of the district.
And it's after the fact. So I think we've talked about at this table that there's nothing a teacher can do
Correct.
in the grade level at this point, whereas the iReady, which is multiple times
More actionable,
during
yes.
the year, teachers can tailor
Right,
the needs.
in the moment, because they get the results instantly, right?
It's more longitudinal to see where, I mean, the analysis that's really meaningful is what goes on in the standards analysis to make sure your curriculum is matching up with the standards, and to see what kind of instructional shifts overall you'd like to make.
We do analyze the results. We just spent 2 hours after school today with the Oak Ridge faculty, really going through results and looking vertically in, you know, 3rd through 6th grade ELA, and breaking into content areas and grade level teams. And we tried in all different ways. And the teachers, like, I give them a lot of credit. They really dug in, and some of the outcomes, even though it's last year's data, when you look across a grade level and something really stands out as a strength and something really stands out as an area we can improve upon, they're digging into their curriculum pacing guides today and saying, okay, we got to target this a little bit more because we kind of fell down here, and this seems to be going really well, so we're going to keep that momentum and that focus. So it is old data by the time we get it, but we do our best to act upon it to the appropriate degree. You know, we're not going to continue spending Wednesdays analyzing MCAS data, but we do take it seriously and try to act upon it as best we can.
My point was,
Yeah.
not that you don't look at the data,
Yeah.
the teachers don't look at and learn something from it, but in terms of for a teacher in 5th grade to make a change in the
Yes.
life of a particular student in 5th grade,
Absolutely, yep. It's more helpful to us to make grade level curriculum shifts more so. Yes, we're not able to impact a student in the moment like we can with live. Yeah. Okay, so Oak Ridge, these are the ELA results for the grades 3 through 6. The first column shows the percentage of students meeting or exceeding. The change, you know, slightly up or down from the previous year. The change slightly up or down from 2019. The SGP, again, that's the student growth percentile, and we're hoping to be in the 40 to 60 range. Of course, anything above 60 is wonderful. So we are pleased with the SGP scores, which is a combination of students showing that they're growing from their scores last year, which is why 3rd grade does not have SGP, because they didn't test in 2nd, thank goodness. And also achievement. So you get, it's kind of a combination of high growth and high achievement. And then, of course, Dr. Quinn spoke to the achievement percentiles. These are really important to us because it helps put these assessments in context. So, for example, if you look at 5th grade and you say 49% of the 5th grade met or exceeded, but then you look at the achievement percentile, well, that they outperformed 71% of the other 5th grades across the Commonwealth. So to me, that says that's a rigorous test. And then we see some real highlights, like in 6th grade ELA, 86th percentile, we just feel is really outstanding. And it's nice to see kind of a culmination of the year's work at the elementaries kind of reach such high levels of success by the time they're exiting elementary school.
And then similar positive trends in grades 7 and 8. We'll see increases in the percentage of students meeting and exceeding versus 2024. Again, you'll see high achievement percentiles as well. This is also the first year, to my knowledge, that there was consistent use of the iReady MyPath for our students. And SGP is right around the typical range. Students come in from 6th to 7th with a really high achievement level, so that's rigorous pace to keep up. So I think it's strong ELA data coming out of the middle high school, and it's a tribute to the effort that's going on there.
Oak Ridge math results. Okay. So again, we have our meeting and exceeding, and then the changes showcased from 24 and 19. Again, we are pleased with the SGPs, and the achievement percentiles we're very pleased with. Again, we're thrilled for our 6th grade students that's quite remarkable.
Transitioning to grade 7, that's really powerful.
Yes.
I've been concerned about transitions and readiness.
Yes, and we've been talking about that. We're looking forward to an upcoming conversation with the 6th grade team, so we can try and capture some of their lightning in a bottle, so to speak, and how can we scale. But at the same point in time, we do recognize so many schools, 6th grade is not part of the elementary. Sandwich is somewhat unique to that at this point, and even in many schools, 5th grade is where the middle school starts. So I think it is important to recognize that through the end of 6th grade, our students are receiving 90 minutes of math instruction every single day. And then they go to the middle school, and it's very different, the instructional time they have, because they have more, they have electives, and they have the drop schedule. So one hypothesis we have is there's a lot more instructional time in math and literacy in the elementary schools, which is typical, than there is at the secondary level.
And then at the middle high school, significant gains in grade 7, really attributed to there's a new curriculum that they implemented with Reveal the 2025, which teachers are really satisfied with. They've been using the ALEX curriculum software to give kids self-paced practice with some choice embedded in terms of the areas that they focus. Strong achievement percentiles in both grades. We also note that across the cohort, improvement in the percentage of students from 7th grade to 8th grade in terms of meeting and exceeding. While it's down from 2024, it's up from, that cohort is up about, I think, between 7 and 9% overall. So a lot of good effort going on for our middle school math team. Really appreciate all that they're doing.
Our science results, we were very pleased with in 5th grade with a 66% meeting and exceeding. Slight change from last year, but a really nice positive change from 2019. That was I want to say that was the first year that we had science in 5th grade. But the achievement percentile of 85%, Oak Ridge 5th grade, like, they're quite proud of that. We also recognize that we had the domain of engineering within the science exam was a real highlight for us, and we are pretty proud of our engineering special that we offer at Oak Ridge. So we give a lot of credit and effort there. And then in 8th grade, again, they're at 49% meeting and exceeding, and they are in the 69th percentile of achievement. And this was the first year, again, that the civics exam was given in 8th grade only. So there's not any data to compare it to. 46% of the kids met or exceeded, which placed them in the 68th percentile across the state.
And then just for our accountability ratings, so it's a composite of several different metrics, including our MCAS data over a 2-year cycle, our WIDA access scores for our multilingual learners, chronic absenteeism, advanced coursework, so that's our AP, our IB, our PLTW courses, the 4-year graduation rate, the annual dropout rate, and then the extended engagement rate data, which counts the kids who persist after their 5th year to continue on with their education to avoid dropping out. Substantial progress made towards the target at Oak Ridge, moderate progress across the board, again, still high in terms of our outcome points across the board for our district.
What do those percentiles refer to, Dave?
Those refer to meeting your achievement target. So the state sets targets in terms of how much growth you have in terms of your MCAS and your WIDA data, your chronic absenteeism, and then you get a certain number of points based on the different characteristics, both for overall and then subgroups, and that shows how many points we got relative to other schools and other districts across the Commonwealth.
Bert, go ahead.
Okay, two things. The Massachusetts Association of School Committees, usually pretty friendly with the or the commissioner. They were, in the recent article I read, they were thinking that they're trying to bring out the resurrect the MCAS against what the voters' wishes. You have, Dave, do you have any comment of that, Dr. Quinn?
That doesn't seem to be consistent with what the policy work that we're doing with the competency determination. I don't know if anything's been going on at the mass level, but that's not been my understanding in terms of the work that we've been doing.
Did you read the article? Did you, the communication?
MASC is
Right.
putting that?
Yeah, that's,
I
It
find
might,
that-
it might be one of our resolutions for the
no, it isn't in the
upcoming
resolutions.
conference.
I probably should have captured
That they
it.
want to resurrect MCAS.
That it is appearing that they're trying, that the state is trying to resurrect the MCAS in a different form. You know, I'll try and find it. I did save it. I'll try and find it. But I did see that. Anyway, I'll go on to the next question. You use this quotation, I wonder where you got it from, next generation MCAS?
Yes.
Where did that come from?
When the test was revised in 2019, that the previous test is now referred to as MCAS Legacy, and from the 2019 to current day, that version of the assessment is referred to as MCAS Next Generation.
What's the difference between them?
Computer versus paper.
I didn't,
Computer versus paper.
computer versus.
That's a huge difference in terms of the administration. So even our third graders are typing their, essays in the moment on demand for the next generation MCAS, whereas prior, the MCAS Legacy, it would be pencil and paper, handwritten.
So the next generation MCAS is just referring to the way they took it.
There are also some shifts in the assessment claims to assess critical thinking more so than the legacy assessment did. Making connections is an emphasis. So for example, we might see students presented with two passages on the same topic, or a poem and a nonfiction passage, and then
So you're
they're asked to
saying the
connect.
test was different too?
There are some tweaks to, yes.
Oh, they're not tweak. Tweak is, every year I'm sure it's tweaked.
And honestly, it's hard for me to tell you how significantly it's shifted because I can't see the test. So I just know what we're told from the state. We don't get a copy of the test.
You don't see the test, but
Yeah.
the teachers go over something similar to the test, so you should have a pretty good idea what's up, what the test.
The information you're told is there will be more emphasis on making connections and comparing multiple texts, things of that nature, more critical thinking. But that's really the extent of what's shared, is it's going to assess critical thinking. Okay.
Because, to me, next generation is like going from Windows 8 to Windows 10.
I mean, that's DESI's language that they gave it, so that was their terminology, that was their label. It's the next generation of testing, but it is a different format, and there are some differences in the
format
types
is-
of questions.
I mean, the format is a lot easier to administer when it's on computer, because it was
Easier to score.
No more stickers, no more bubble sheets.
Yeah.
stickers,
Yeah.
bubble sheets, and then teachers were carrying these big
Bins, yeah, all that stuff.
bins, yes,
Yeah.
bins. Okay, I'm not sure got it, but
Bert, they still
you.
have 30 more slides to get through.
Yeah, the
I'm fooling.
questions one.
Okay, any other questions for Jen and Dave? No, seeing none. Thank you so much for all of your hard
Thank you
work.
very much for your time.
As always. So moving on to the MASC-MASS Annual Joint Meeting Delegate and Alternate Nominations. This will require a vote. So it looks like this year it's Kevin, myself, and Sue will be in attendance. I am available the Friday of the conference, so that's what I had signed up for. Is the delegation, is the meeting on Wednesday still? Is it the Wednesday
believe it
afternoon?
is, yeah.
Okay. Sue, I didn't know if you had any interest in it. I know you did it last year. I
I
did
didn't
it.
do it last year. Didn't you do it last
Oh,
year,
did
Bert?
Tracy, did you do it last year?
They changed the order of the program, Bert. I think Bert might have been it
I think
last
Bert
year,
did
correct?
last year.
I did it. I did it 2022, and I was the delegate. Yeah, and I was in there for 3 hours. Yeah. And I caught COVID. That was where the only time that I caught COVID was at that convention. Yes. Yes.
I mean, hypothetically, committee, would it hypothetically be unethical to say you had a member who wasn't present this evening to nominate and vote in the affirmative? Just
do we-
hypothetically.
Do we table it and
Because
ask
he
him next
hasn't
time?
had the privilege of serving in that capacity.
That is true. I know Sue and I have contributed to this.
We have.
You certainly have.
Yeah.
turn that thing on. The way it was run was very discombobulated.
It was when I did it as well.
It was,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
at the same time.
Well,
And our votes, our positions on this school committee were at odds with almost everything they brought up.
Yeah.
So it's a,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, lots of-
it's very much a process where you see how the sausage is made, and districts bring items that are of importance to them, and sometimes it's very provincial and, or very narrow to their particular region. But what really wears you down is the parliamentary process of revisions.
The revisions, the amendments, it is pretty daunting.
It is an
We're
interesting,
really selling it.
it is a
We
process.
really are.
I think we should nominate Kevin. No, he's our chair.
Maybe we should table it till the next meeting and
Yeah,
have
I-
a fair,
Good idea.
have a fair shake.
Very
Yes.
good. I move to table that.
Second.
Oh, so that's the day of our meeting.
Okay.
It is.
I do find it very interesting. I'm on the MASC website right now, and I can't find.
It was Wednesday afternoon. That was the only thing when I did it.
Yeah, I know
And it-
that they changed the order of. Oh, it's a video. I apologize.
My feeling was they put it on Friday to keep people there. That was his,
Always was.
'cause it was at the very last thing on Friday.
Oh, so it's due even before.
Okay. I mean, I could, if it is the Friday, I could do it, and maybe Kevin will be our alternate, and maybe he'll want to do it, since he's never experienced it. Yeah. Yeah. I just need to double check, because I can't make it any of the other days. The conference schedule, that was 20. I wish I had it. I looked, I don't have it with me. So Alexis, I don't know if you got that packet in the mail, and there's resolutions that we'll go through and we'll vote on them leading up to the conference of what will, so the person that's the delegate will kind of, the table, we'll all vote on it, excuse me.
Well, they're not bound to vote on, but
not-
they're morally bound.
Yeah, morally bound, yes, exactly. So whoever the delegate is will be the representative from the Sandwich School Committee, so. Tracy found it.
Yeah, the delegate assembly is Friday from, it
What time?
starts at,
Oh, Friday at
3:15.
3:15.
Yeah,
it goes for hours.
Oh, jeez.
right, you don't get out of there, the sun is long set.
Does anyone else want to register and come? It sounds fun.
Well, I can't, they won't let, I'll be,
Next year you should be.
One of these years I'm gonna be around.
We could hire somebody that looks like her.
Who's that girl the million?
Then maybe.
If no one opts next time we bring it up, I will.
Well, I think do we have to vote on it now?
You probably should.
Okay, so I will take one for the team, and I'll do it, yes. But I'm going to ask Kevin to be our, or ask Kevin to be our alternate,
Yeah.
perhaps, since he's never enjoyed it. Sue, you've done your time. You've endured a lot with that, yes.
I mean, it's a responsibility to vote on the prospective legislative agenda for the next year. That's part of what the
Yes.
association does.
If you look through some of the
we don't.
resolutions are return items that are coming back, making another appearance from 3 years ago.
The good news is, if it comes back 3 times, it can't come back
can't
again.
come back
I
again.
think after that.
Right.
And not to be cynical about this, but I know in years past, and I think it'll come to the table for our next meeting, what this committee's official position will be on all of these resolutions.
Right.
And I get it that it's the legislative agenda and so on, but realize the percentage of these positions that actually
Solutions.
come to fruition through law or even proposed legislation, it might be in the single
Yeah,
digits.
I don't know if I've seen one
Yeah.
since my time on the school committee in 20.
Even the big ones, like increasing, what was it last year? Increasing the
Special ed.
payback
Yes.
percentage in the
Or
formula.
regional transportation, which
It
is really
crept up-
important.
It crept up a little bit, but didn't even get close to what had
Right,
been proposed. But, I mean, there are some good ones, but even
Yeah.
yeah.
the issues that have broader appeal, there's only a few of them that really would
A lot of it were, if my memory serves me correctly, fringy type things, politically charged type things. I remember
Very
there was
political.
one that the superintendent shall be in charge of a gun safety
Yes.
initiative and so on. Like,
And that might have come up twice already. I think,
Yeah,
I think that
can
came
only
up
come back once, or one more
one more time, yeah.
and that's,
Maybe next
you
year.
know, again, not to editorialize, but that's not going to see the light of day in all likelihood.
No, I agree, yeah.
why do they bother? Because there's, the legislature really doesn't care about, not that they don't care about what is
Yeah.
presented to them from that convention. So why do they bother?
Well, it gives direction to the lobbyists
To the
at
lobbyists.
the MASC where to concentrate their efforts when they're on the Hill
Yeah.
doing
Doing
business.
advocacy.
Yeah, advocating, yeah.
So it is important.
It is important, it
I
is.
think there are too many, and some of
Yeah, I
them are
agree.
real outliers.
Yep.
So maybe the vetting process by the leadership needs to kind of really do an analysis about
Hone in on it, yeah.
has
I think,
a chance.
unfortunately, it might be a microcosm of our larger society with the high degree of polarization rather than people kind of meeting in the center and where the grand majority of folks are.
Yep, yeah, I totally agree, yeah. Okay, so this requires a vote.
We didn't nominate.
No, yes, so go
Okay, I
ahead, Bert.
nominate-
You nominate Kevin? What? Yeah.
No, I get the point, you don't nominate someone who's not here.
No, exactly.
Um, I nominate Danielle to be the delegate to whatever that convention is called today.
The joint MASC-MASS conference.
What he
What he said. Any seconds?
Second?
Second by Sue. Discussion? None? Okay. And I'm hopeful that Kevin will become the alternate.
We didn't vote.
Twist his arm, but
Did we vote?
does someone want to nominate him as an alternate?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody can nominate him. Second, anybody?
Second.
Bert, okay. All right, any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With
6.
appreciation to Danielle.
All right.
You will find trying to get anything over on them is like pulling teeth. I know you'd appreciate that.
I totally agree. Okay. All right, moving on, other topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I have none. Subcommittee reports. So we're on to the policy subcommittee.
The policy committee met earlier this evening. We went through the F portion of the manual. We'll be sending that over for you guys to take a look at our next meeting. We still have to make our way through the G folder, and we'll have some pieces for you to consider at that time. It's riveting stuff. I'm really excited for you guys to get to see it. Am I missing anything, Sue?
That covers it.
That's it.
Thank you for all of your time spent on that. I know it's daunting work. Next up, Finance Subcommittee.
Finance Subcommittee met prior to this meeting, and we had a very small agenda, but it was really to review where we are in terms of the debt exclusion expenditures, and also how we would allocate or plan to allocate the Chapter 70 money in the amount of $324,300 should it be voted by town meeting. And also, we touched upon the $75,000 from the FY25 budget that was not expended for the flooring. That will not be handled on the fall town meeting because the town's free cash accounts have not been certified. So that will be held over until the May town meeting. But I think we agreed at the table that that $75,000 would go towards its original intent, which was to replace flooring in the schools. At this point, the $324,300 Chapter 70 money, we have this need to address boilers at the high school, and it needs to be done as we're going into heating season. And so it was felt that that money needs to go toward that project, and Michael is securing bids, et cetera, to see where that goes, so that would be the recommendation there. And then in terms of, you saw the Excel spreadsheet on the debt exclusion monies, expenditures, and balance. And at this point, there's $2,274,459.73 of money left to be expended. And it was felt that in terms of priorities, although there's lots of things that this money could be spent on, it was felt that we needed to be true to the debt exclusion goals and objectives, and that health and safety are the areas. And so if you recall, the boilers at Forestdale and Oak Ridge, which kind of started the whole debt exclusion conversation, that project needs to be completed. And so that funding, we would recommend, would go to that. But left to be determined is other sources of funding for other issues to be completed. One of them was library ventilation. What library was that, Joe? Was that the high school?
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge Library. So that was good to have that understanding of those projects. And then, of course, as we get into the FY26 plans and capital plans and our strategic overlay on that, wish lists are beginning to be generated.
And I think the
More to-
facilities assessment
More,
will be.
more information will follow.
Okay. Can you just explain, Joe, quickly about the 75,000? So it was in the district, and then it wasn't used in time, so it got sent back to the town.
Correct.
So it has to
And
be
we've-
certified again?
So no, we had an agreement that I think the town, in very much good faith, said, hey, what we'll do is we will, that anything that gets sent back to the town goes as free cash. And in good faith, they said, we'll do an article at the fall town meeting to kick it back to the school for the purposes of finishing, I think with 75,000, it'd be like 5 additional classrooms for flooring. However, we were notified about a week or so ago that the state is behind in officially certifying the free cash of communities. So at this point in time, Sandwich, the town, does not have its free cash certified. So just kind of as a dotting all your I's and crossing your T's, Bill Jennings basically said, look, I'd be a lot more comfortable with the process if we first have our free cash certified and so on. So that's why we've got the deferral. But keep in mind, in this FY26 budget, we do have $200,000 towards flooring. I know Michael has scheduled already between the holiday break and February break, 12 additional classrooms at Forestdale and Oak Ridge to have their flooring done. So the work is continuing in earnest.
Okay. Great. Okay. That's all I had about. Any other questions about it? No. All right. Moving on to Liaison Advisory Committee reports. Any activity? No. The CPAC, Special Ed Parent Advisory Council, is going to have a coffee hour this Friday at Cafe Chu at 9 a.m. So, and they're planning on hopefully setting a date to meet the new Director of Pupil Services for the families with Jennifer Healy, probably some evening. So that's all that's happening there. Next up, warrants. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve them?
Make a motion to approve the warrants tonight, October 7th, today, October 7th?
8th.
October 8th.
I have a second.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 6-0. This is time for our second public forum. Anyone want to come up? Nope. Future agenda items. Anything?
That was in my report. That was in the superintendent's report.
Yeah, we did. Yep, with Habib. Yep, they're coming. Yep, 3 days. Yeah. So warrants, public forum, future agenda. I think, as we always do, get an update from Sean Donovan at the end of the fall sports season,
that'll
if we have that on the
probably be,
November,
probably first meeting of December.
December. Okay.
Just know that we have scheduled for 5 o'clock for our next meeting will be the first meeting with the Student Advisory Committee. It'll be the same group of 5 students. High school? No, it'll be here. There will be, per usual, pizza and 4 C's ice cream.
When was the date of that? The next meeting?
The next meeting.
Oh, so Bert's last meeting.
Correct. So we will be going out with a bang.
4C's ice cream, too. Nice. All right. Acknowledgements, closing remarks? I don't really
I
have.
just wanted, I just, again, I don't know what kind of feedback you're getting from families on the Parent Square newsletters, but they're to the point. They're just really giving you, at least as an outsider, not having children in the school, but bullet points about what's going on and what to expect, and it's frequent. It's really good.
It is good. It is. It's nice to have it in one spot, too, one place. Yes.
And are you getting your updates at approximately 6:30?
Yeah.
I believe that's the default time. Yeah.
You know, it's been wonderful. I wanted to acknowledge Dave Quinn and Jen Kirk for all of your hard work again. The data that you deliver to us, you know, it's so helpful to understand and grasp. And the feedback that I've heard from people from off Cape too, even about the MCAS scores for Sandwich. So many people that I've ran into recently said, "Oh, I heard Sandwich. You guys are overperforming. This is great." So, thank you for all that you do. All right. Can I entertain an adjournment for tonight? Anyone want to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to Wednesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m., regular business meeting at Sandwich Town Hall.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned till Wednesday, October 22nd. We'll have pizza at 5 o'clock.